Guys, this is pretty wild. I've got to say, I'm pretty shocked to see the CEO of Waymo throwing shade like this, saying that Tesla is lying about its robotaxi service. It's fake. It's not actually going to happen. At least that's certainly what they're implying. It's getting very, very interesting out there now, throwing shade all over the place. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. How do you feel about this? I've got to say, first of all, I drove a Tesla Cybertruck. Well, I didn't drive it. The truck drove itself in the United States, in California. I couldn't believe how good it was on full self-driving. I drove a Tesla on full self-driving in the United States when I was there. This was about 6 months. Well, I can't believe it's been 6 months. Crazy. But it was about 6 months ago. And it was insanely good. There was no interventions for me. To be honest, it wasn't a huge trip, but I have seen some videos since then that shocked me. I couldn't believe how good it's become. It sucks in Australia. It doesn't really work here. It's not really approved here in Australia. China, it's all right, but not great. But in the United States, it's amazing. But Waymo, the CEO, he's saying it's not, and he says it's a fake. There are many ways to fake a robotaxi service, he said. I'm curious to know who's actually gone for a drive in one. John Krafcik, Waymo's longtime CEO until 2021 and auto industry veteran, said that Tesla Cybercab won't work. In a new interview, he said that Tesla is faking its upcoming robotaxi launch in Austin in June. Krafcik is Electric claims he's a highly respected leader in the automotive industry. He started his career as a mechanical engineer working at the NUMMI plant, N-U-M-M-I plant. Then he worked at the GM Toyota factory. Not that that's particularly great credentials, if you ask me. That factory is now obviously owned by Tesla. That's where Tesla's factory is in Fremont. He spent 14 years at Ford. He was chief engineer of the Ford Expedition and Lincoln Navigator. He then moved to Hyundai America, where he was president for 5 years. Now, I'm curious, how does that qualify you to be the CEO of Waymo? I mean, it's a completely different thing. I mean, let's be real. None of that would have prepared him in any way, shape, or form for autonomous driving. It's a completely different thing. I don't understand how he got into that position. Must be a very smart guy, or he knew the right people, one or the other. Curious. You can tell here, I'm like, what? Wheels are turning. To me, I think you'd be more qualified for the position of being the CEO of Waymo if you actually had some coding experience. That to me, coding, software experience, that to me would be far more relevant than working in a mechanical engineering position for Ford and Toyota. Anyhow, Krafcik is mostly known for leading Waymo from 2015 to 2021. And Electric says he's helped it become the consensus leader in self-driving technology. Now, I don't think that's true. In fact, I'd have to sincerely debunk that claim. I'd say that nobody in China believes that Waymo is the consensus leader. I'm not saying that anyone in China thinks Tesla is either. They probably think they're the best. And it's true that there's some pretty damn impressive full self-driving going on in China right now. I'm not even convinced that most people in America would think Waymo is leading, considering their service is very limited. It's you have to use full high definition mapping. I don't think it's actually scalable, but I could be wrong. What do you guys think? Getting back to his claims, he retired from the company in 2022. He sits on the board of Rivian and Daimler Trucks. The famed engineer gave an interview to Germany's Manager magazine, and he said that Cybercab was not going to work. It was vaporware. If a company was serious about building a safe robotaxi business, the robotaxi wouldn't look anything like this prototype. I'm not sure why that's got anything to do with it. A serious robotaxi would demonstrate the primacy of safety. The manufacturer would place sensors in optimal positions on the roof as well as on the sides and corners of the vehicle. These sensors would also have cleaning and drying functions. Maybe they will. Maybe that is happening. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure he knows that they won't be on there. Windshield wipers, compressed air nozzles, and so on. A serious robotaxi also wouldn't have a low-slung coupe body design. This design makes it difficult for people to easily get in and out. Not everyone will be able to use these robotaxi vehicles comfortably. Basically, though, he is saying that Waymo's way of doing things is the way to do it, and Tesla's is not. He's saying because Tesla doesn't use sensors like LiDAR, basically Tesla's vision-only approach, he's saying that's unsafe and it will fail. However, it's worth pointing out that what is currently the leaders, who are considered to be currently the leaders in self-driving technology in China, the leading car company anyway, that's XPeng. And XPeng, they've pivoted away from Waymo's approach to Tesla's approach for full self. And they're basically going vision only. They're saying that that is the best choice. And they previously were using LiDARs in their top end vehicles. So interestingly, that happened after the CEO of XPeng came to the United States, came to California, and actually test drove a Tesla with full self-driving. And this was an older model that I think wouldn't be as good as they are today. So clearly not everyone agrees. There are obviously many in the industry that believe this is the best way to go about it. BYD's new God's Eye does have LiDAR. It does have many different sensors that Teslas don't use. It doesn't use vision only. So there's part of the industry that thinks Waymo's approach is the right way to go. There's part that thinks it isn't the right way to go. But this is the only time that I've heard a primary figure in the industry say that Tesla's autonomous car, its Cybercab, is fake and it's never going to work. And it's not just fake, but it's like a charade. It's basically a joke. He went on to say this: almost all of the challenging circumstances and vulnerable road users found in cities also exist on highways, only less frequently. We've seen cyclists, scooter riders, and pedestrians on American highways. The rarity doesn't make things easier. It makes them more difficult. You can't ignore these extremely rare events. You have to solve them robustly, even if the speeds are much higher and the stopping distances are much longer. This means that the sensing, perception, behavior perception, prediction, and path planning aspects are much more demanding for autonomous trucks than for slower moving robotaxis in the city. There are many ways to fake a robotaxi service. So there it is. This guy thinks that Tesla's faking it. I honestly don't. I've seen a lot of videos over the last couple of months. Whole Catalog publishes a video pretty much every day showing how good Tesla's robotic driving, autonomous driving is. I don't know how perfect it is yet. Maybe it's not perfect yet. But basically the drives he's doing, there's no interventions lately. There's been none. And he's driving a fairly long way. That was my experience as well. I think that it's very good. I think it's better than a human driver at this point. But, you know, I understand that people are going to disagree with that. And some of that is politics, some of that's emotions around Tesla. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you agree with the former? I should put that in parenthesis, the former CEO of Waymo, that Tesla is faking it. Let me know your thoughts. There are a number of reports saying that Tesla and Uber are in deep discussions about Uber joining with Tesla to launch their robotaxis all over the United States. I mean, it's believed by Tesla and it's also believed by Uber. The license will be granted to Tesla to make its robotaxis fully operational. They're saying that testing has confirmed that their vehicles are safe enough to be used as real-world robotaxis. I can confirm personally, I've driven a lot of miles in a Tesla Cybertruck.